Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rickson. I am joined, as always, by friends and co-hosts.
Rowan, you might know me as Mocha, and I'm joined by...
This is Sheldon. You probably know me as Captain Yanova.
I have no idea which of those takes we'll use, because I've really wanted to have the joke in there about the not being...
you say as always, but
yeah,
it was just us last week, so...
Yeah, but that's two things. One, I am a creature of habit, which includes my diction, and then also the fact that every time I do it, except for the one time I did it by myself, it's with friends and co-hosts. Is that true? There's only once I think I did it by myself, which was an episode.
Something like that, yeah.
It was one of the episodes of all time. Anyway, hey, how y'all doing?
Not too bad. Worlds was fantastic. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much because it was Reg G, but as expected, people brought some pretty cool heat to it. Iron Feet is front and center.
Yep.
King of the world.
Iron Feet.
Iron Tootsies, yeah. That's
all right.
Yeah, low kick Iron Hands. There actually was, I forget which team it was, but there was someone who ran literally low kick as the only move on their Iron Hands.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Wait, like...
Or the only attacking move.
Only attacking.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like fake out, swords dance, detect, and low kick. Because as it turns out, everything that you really want to hit with it is really heavy. So
that's what happens when you hit a restricted format. It's like grass knot all of a sudden becomes a good move.
Like just all of a sudden Iron Hand, like people just realize right before Worlds, like I could be using a 120 BP stab move on my Iron Hands.
That doesn't miss, no drawback.
Yeah, exactly. Like zero drawback.
That's a good point. I noticed I finally got around to watching some of Worlds, and I watched the finals. I decided that with what little time I could actually put towards watching things in the last day, I was going to work backwards, which was great because finals was really good. It was really close, really good match. And I noticed the low kick, and I forgot exactly how it worked. And then I realized, and then when you just said, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Caloric size is a big boy.
He's a heavy boy. Oh yeah, what's the lightest restricted that's used?
Maybe Shadow Rider, yeah.
Which
that makes
you
sense.
Can't hit with low kick.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, yeah. Although, people, I've been seeing people in my personal circle using this for a while, but it wasn't popular until Worlds. Terra Dark, Shadow Rider, it started to pick up as well. Just specifically at Worlds, but. Yeah, didn't even make top 8. I don't think there were 0 Shadow Riders in top 8.
Yep,
it was Fraud Horse confirmed.
Fraud Horse, yeah. The first one is.
But it was all over the tournament still, though.
Yeah. Well, tons of people brought it. They just didn't cut with it.
Do we have usage stats on this?
That is a lie, of course. Not a lie. It's they cut in that cut was technically top 24, I guess, which is kind of weird. Cut / day 2 were the same thing.
Sure.
But yeah, there's tons of really cool stories throughout the weekend. Little disappointing for Wolf. He started out like a 9-0.
I saw that.
8-0, but 18-0 in games.
Yeah, didn't drop a single game day one,
which is wild.
Which is tragic. And also, God, it's just, I don't know that there's a better solution, but it really makes me hate the Swiss into cut kind of format. Right? It's just like you can just some matches you're allowed to lose and some you aren't. Which is just kind of weird to me, right? It's like you can go completely undefeated in your Swiss rounds, but then you lose one in the single and it's over, right? Like I don't know that
was that Wolfie's
bad. I don't know if there's a way around it, but it's like the same thing happens at locals all the time. Is that people go undefeated in Swiss and then lose their first round of cut and they get 8 points or something.
Right. Where did Wolfie end? 17th,
Wolf ended at 17th, so still pretty good, but
yeah.
So wait, not what you wanted, especially after going 8-0.
Or wait, hold on. Day 2 was all of day 2 a single limb. Is that true?
No, they had Swiss in day 2.
Yeah, a couple Swiss rounds, and then it became single limb. Yeah,
2 or 3 Swiss rounds, I think it was.
Gotcha. Okay.
3 Swiss rounds. Yeah, it was 8 for the first day 1, and then 3 Swiss, and then top cut.
Yeah,
okay.
And it was like a
X and 2.
Asymmetrical cut, I think, as well, based on your record. But yeah.
It was all X and 2. Yeah.
Yes. Interesting.
So yeah, there's so much stuff to talk about here. God, okay, I don't even know where to start. Obviously, okay, second place bringing the Iron Valiant is wild, considering that like they've just been like universally clowned on, and
now it's
now it's a world runner-up mon, right? Like
Which is
it's better than a lot of mons who you'd consider top tier, right?
it's fitting though, because it's one of those like Japanese texts that come out of nowhere. It's like,
yeah, that's the other thing. It's an even year, so Japan wasn't allowed to win, right? That's
yes,
generally
of
how
course
it goes. They'll win next year.
So next year you get your Japanese citizenship, so that way you have a shot at winning Worlds.
There you go.
That's it.
And then you'll have to qualify through Japan Nats though. So good luck.
Good luck with
it was. Yeah. It was really close for Yuta though. For Luca going 2-0. Sorry, that's what I meant. It was clutch. The Amoongus living at 2 HP and the way that the last round or two went,
and frankly the deciding game, as like we were talking up Iron Valiant, but like if Yuta had just brought the Scarf Lando, it like if that was the last mon, he would have won. Like that would.
Yeah, good point.
It was a little sad, but you know, you live and die by your tech choices. I thought that Hard Tricker making top 8 was impressive, because that generally doesn't happen. I'm sorry, it's like not. Yeah, it's one of those like it's has a low floor, but also a low ceiling. Usually, like it's not crazy hard to do really well with it. It's not crazy hard to do reasonably well with it, but like they never win tournaments, right?
Yeah,
right.
So getting to cut in Worlds with that is really impressive. Although again, like really cool adaptations on that: an Assault Vest Torkoal, a Terra Dragon Kali Ice. Yeah, a taunt on a Wellspring was also pretty cool. That's less crazy, but yeah. Zero attack and 80 female, just heal pulse instead of an attack.
If you were to show me a Bruno team, that's a Bruno team.
That is definitely a Bruno team. I was thinking
even spicier than the stuff that even Bruno runs. Yeah, so it's pretty cool to see that's going to be. Remember, all this stuff is coming back in a few months, right? So definitely going to be on people's radar.
Yep. January.
We had
right
Dozo in the top 6.
Yeah, which really didn't expect that in Reg G, but and I don't know if you saw the games.
2 of them.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the game with Chen Yu Zhang, like. Really, like, just every turn felt like a coin flip when we were playing, but clearly not if you make it to top 8 of Worlds, right? Like they must have game plan. They must know what the reward is on all these moves. So, or you're winning your coin flips every game, right? Like that seems unrealistic. But yeah, very cool to see that. Justin Knox with the Wheezing Galar and Dozo in 12th place, I thought was very, very cool. Trying to think what else. There's so much. Oh, Bullet Seed Ogrepon Grass as well was a big deal. Because one of the big changes in the like at the beginning of G, every Urshifu was Scarf. Like at least every Urshifu water was Scarf, right? But they all have been switching to Sash recently, and if you watch most of the games on stream, I don't think I saw
Sash is super important.
I'm sure there were a couple scarves out there, but I don't think I saw a single scarf one on stream. It was all Sash Urshifu. So being able to like loaded dice Bullet Seed those, very, very cool.
Which team was that?
Shiling Tang had it, but he wasn't the only one.
22nd in Top Cut. That's only one in Top Cut.
Okay, the only one in Top Cut. That might be the case. Yeah. But there were definitely more than just Shiling. Who there was at least a couple on stream. Yeah. But it's a very cool adaptation, and because it has that Terra Grass to get a speed boost, even if they are Scarf, you still kill them with Bullet Seed. Yep. So I thought that was really neat. And then Scarf Lando in the second place team too. Like that's not crazy. That's definitely existed before, but it super hasn't been a thing. In fact, Lando I is really dropped off in general in this format. Like
for sure.
And so maybe that's Scarf is what it needed to start keeping up, right? Because it just got outsped by so many things that kill it.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like all this cool adaptation, and now we're just not playing this format anymore. Like, and I'm happy about it.
Honestly, that's not like entirely unheard of, right? Like, I feel like very often the regulation changes after Worlds.
Oh yeah.
I guess
it's just not as drastic, right? Like it's like
usually
going up in power
level,
right? Like usually all the tricks you saw at the last Worlds get to carry forward.
Right.
In this case, they're all going away. You're not going to get to touch them until December. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, people are going to remember, and the internet's forever. So like. All this stuff will be there when we come back in January, but it's very weird to see all this cool stuff. I would kind of like to try, like the low kick hands for sure. Since like the team that Luca used is the same one I brought to the last 2 locals, just with some cool tech choices on there, and the bug Iron Hands is also very, very neat. I thought. But yeah, and I think Luca even published his paste like with EVs and everything on Twitter. It's just like I'm sure things will progress further when we get to play Reg G Part 2. So
Ooh.
like that Iron Hands was actually min speed, which is like an adaptation that started happening more lately because Miraidon teams were having a little more trouble with trigger and stuff. And so like, yeah, you just have a very slow Iron Hands and you get your terrain up and you start like cork drive low kicking the opposing Calyrex, and you can go Terrabug to resist their high horsepower. And yeah, really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Very neat. Yeah. Were there other? So how much? Rowan, you said you were enjoying actually watching World. Sheldon, you had said in Discord earlier that you were like going through all the matches. What was cool?
So
Because
day
what do I need to
one,
see?
so to me, day one, I mean, you have like one of the most like iconic kind of matches. You had Aaron Zhang versus Sajin Park.
Yeah, and Aaron doing so well. Like it's tragic that he didn't quite make day 2 because he was on a roll to begin with.
But that match, it was fun because Sajin brought Pachirisu on the 10th anniversary of him winning Worlds with Pachirisu.
Right.
Which is crazy that like 10 years he's been and still doing, making Worlds for every Pokemon game possible.
That is.
But it was just kind of wild. Like Aaron 2-0'd him, I think.
Yeah.
Aaron 2-0'd him, but
I think it was one of those things where Sajin just like he just likes Pachirisu at this point, right? Like I don't know if it was a flavor pick back then, but it was definitely like for the memes, a bit of a main pick. Yeah, but
it's still fun to see it.
Sure.
I wish, like, I know it would be a lot for the stream and all. I just wish we could have gotten more matches. If that,
there's a bit of a problem with that, like
because there's so many matchups and all that they could have shown. I feel like, but you just don't have time for it. Like.
Well, the resources, right? Like you can't.
It's not that difficult to do, right? Like Smash tournaments are doing this for a minute now. Multi-Twitch is a thing. You can have multiple rounds go on at the same time.
You can jump like you can have like a sports, some sports channels do that.
Faster in some of them. So like one of the really cool things at NEIC I thought was that there was these side TVs. So you had a couple 2-3 matches every round that weren't on the mainstream, but everyone there could just sit on chairs and watch those matches too.
Yeah.
If the stream was on break or they just wanted to watch a different matchup or something. All of those, it's just one like very easy internet connection away from all of those being in a multi-Twitch, right? Like
you could very easily have four
picture, and then whenever something big's happen, you can.
Yeah, I think that's one of the craziest things about VGC, honestly, is that like so many fantastic sets like are lost to time. Like they are never recorded, they will never be seen again.
Yep.
We don't even have like a concept of replays. The game is like it is determined. It's not truly deterministic in that like there's percentage rolls being done, but like it can be all the data about a game can be saved. It's not like it's a second by second thing. Like you could replay, it should be so easy to save replays in this game. Like,
I mean,
the same way Showdown does it. Like there's no reason for Cart not to be able to do that. Except
Gen 10 is right around the corner, right?
I'm sure they'll solve all our problems just like we wish they would for this.
Yeah, just easy.
Like this is like an intern project kind of thing, right? Like I'm sorry, like. Pokemon Showdown is fantastic. Everybody loves Pokemon Showdown. It's mostly done by volunteers, and a lot of them are really young.
Open source.
Most of them are under, like, I would say almost all of them are under 30, and a lot of them are like, I knew at least one for a fact as a teenager, like in high school at one point, like while working on this site. Like, if they can put together all these features that everybody wants, why is the multi-billion-dollar company not just like really basic stuff? We're not asking for the world. Like,
so okay. This is a tangent away from Worlds and whatnot, of course, because it's us. It's gonna happen. They're taking VGC. They're pretending to take VGC seriously.
I mean, they're spending a lot of money on it. It's just
right. Like that's what they're doing now. If they're just
at the wrong time in the wrong places, like think about it.
Correct. Yeah. Now, if they could actually think, okay, let's think a little bit ahead and make the game, stable and have replay and have save.
I'm not even asking for better graphics or stability or performance or anything. Just like
no, we want stability so that we don't drop games.
Sure.
That's what I mean, right? Like connection stability.
Well, you know what? If you were able to save replays, it would be very easy to restore a game from that same state, and you could drop connection. It doesn't even have to be stable because you could just restore the game.
That's a fair point, but I'd still rather have both of those than just one.
One is orders of magnitude easier than the other. I don't know. It's a little silly. It's annoying. I'm sorry. I'm on a rant now. Like in the top 8, the other thing that was crazy to me, Miraidon not just won Worlds, but there were 3 Miraidons in top. Like the restricteds that were the best were like it was very clear, right? There were 3 Miraidons, 3 Kali Ices, 1 Zama, and two Terapagos. Like, and the 1 Zama was just because Mishi's a god, right? Like everything else, just I don't know.
1 Terapagos in top 8, technically.
Oh, right. I was looking at one Pagos, 1 Zama, and then the rest are all Miraidon and Ice Rider. Yeah.
Yep.
Which, like, to be fair, at the beginning of the format, I think a lot of people, well, not at the beginning of the format, after Rajan's win, I think everybody thought those were the 2, and
they were.
Lo and behold, that's where they are at the end of it too.
But even still, like if you go even a little past 8th place, right? Like you start to see Shadow Rider, which was the other contestant, right?
Yeah.
Another big player. You don't see a different Mon until 14th with Kyogre, and that's a
kind of
outlier.
Spicy. I do like Roaring Moon on that side. This is a little like the Crystal Rain stuff that was popping up with Calm Mind lefties Kyogre, which is pretty neat. This is pretty much trying the same kind of shtick as Calm Mind Bolt was, right? If you have leftovers and Rillaboom on the same team, all of a sudden you become like an unbreakable wall that heals 1/8 every turn, and you can protect to get.
If you put a bunch of Calm Minds on Kyogre, like that's a scary thought.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like the problem is that Origin Pulse can miss, right? The second Origin Pulse, it becomes 100% accuracy move. That set becomes very, very real.
Oh yeah, he's not running Water Spout or nothing. Origin Pulse and Ice Beam, yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
There's a.
I would personally like to say, I think power creep has become high enough in other restricteds that Origin Pulse and P-Blades just should be 100% accuracy.
We have Glacial Lance and
exactly.
Astral Barrage,
right. And those mons have better stats.
and Chilling Nay too, like and Nay.
I wouldn't say better abilities. Like obviously Weather's incredible, but like
very powerful
probably on par,
abilities.
right? Like
correct.
It's Super Moxie, you know. It's
exactly. Yeah, with Mewtwo's ability just for funsies, like I'm trying to think what else was cool adaptations in here. Life Orb Pelipper has been around, but seeing it make second at Worlds is pretty cool too. Like I generally see Pelipper as like
proud of my boy.
Sash or
he's usually kind of like he's there for the weather and wide guard, and like the little bit of chips he has is nice because like Weather Ball and Hurricane are like consistent high PP moves, but it's still really weak and it doesn't. But like throwing in the Stellar Terra and the Life Orb, it like suddenly takes some pretty surprising Okos there. Like I'm sure that worked really well for you throughout the tournament.
That was one of the last sets I ran for Pelipper was Life Orb.
Regieleki on Navjeet's team was also pretty neat. There's like, it's Bolt Beam, it's Ice Rider plus Electric. It's, something people talked about since the beginning of the format, but like, I feel like Regieleki hadn't seen any success in this format. It had
not really, no.
It had 1 second place in Reg F, I want to say. But yeah, nothing since then.
Well, now it won 10 grand, so that's pretty cool for it.
Yeah. The money from this is pretty crazy. And actually, so something people don't talk about as much is that, okay, so there's solid prize money for this, right? Like we're at like regular like not like top tier esport level, but it's at least not like a joke, right? Like this is
you're not going there like barely paying for a trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, well, like just about
still Hawaii.
Like we're making our world's winner makes about as much as a small StarCraft tournament did in like 2011, which for what it's still not amazing, but whatever. But what they don't talk about as much is that apparently the real value is in your prizes, because there are some absolutely deranged collectors out there. The world champion card sells for 6 figures, unironically.
What?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean, you got to think there's
only so many of them. Yeah.
What?
Yes,
there's less than 20 of them, like because everyone gets them, right? All the kids get them too, all the juniors and seniors.
The juniors and seniors get them too, and like so apparently there's like a kind of a problem with like collectors coming up and scamming the 10-year-old who just wins juniors, but gets the same card. That's like
of course.
There's 3 of them in the world, right? So that's but still, who's spending $100,000 on a trading card, man? That's just crazy.
A lot of people.
Well, I don't know about a lot, but some enough.
There's enough people.
Too many.
More than 3, I guess.
There's enough.
Yeah.
That is wild.
And you get a ton of packs and stuff too. When you do, even if like a regional win or something, like you get a lot in packs and like, you got some good pulls. You can make money off of that.
For quite a bit too, actually.
I was gonna say, I imagine the trophy.
Yeah, even the regional trophies actually sell for thousands.
I feel like that'd feel wrong to sell your world's trophy.
Yeah, I think if it's the world's trophy, you keep it, but the card, who cares? Oh my
Yeah.
god, make your 6-figure. Apparently, Edu just bought a house, like down payment on a house with his last year. I was like, that is the move. Yes, 100%.
For sure.
It's cool, but it's still just a piece of cardboard, right? Like
yeah. The memories of your win are forever recorded on Twitch and YouTube. I hope you do YouTube downloader and get that, like, get an MP4 of it for yourself, like whatever.
Oh
like,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's
I would not give it a second thought.
Nah, the first thought was, ooh, I can do this. Second thought is, ooh, I could do this. Down payment on a house from winning Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
and not even using your winning like.
Yeah, not even
winning,
actual cash price. Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, so there's one more topic I thought about a while back, and I just kind of remembered, is that I think that this format and even this Worlds kind of shows that I think Ogerpon is the best designed new mon they've added to the game, potentially ever.
Oh, she is best girl.
Overall, like
like especially the forms, like every single Ogerpon form is represented here, and they were all very, very strong.
Oh yeah, good point. I even noticed that they're all here.
You have Fire Pawn in first and fourth, Water Pawn in fifth, Rock Pawn
seventh.
Yeah. And then we were talking about the Grass Pawns. Like they didn't make top 8, but they were still there. Like they still very much had a niche, right?
Yeah.
Like it. And I've been really missing it in H2. It's not even that it's like overwhelmingly powerful. Hearth Pawn is kind of overpowered. Like the Fire Pawn is kind of overwhelmingly powerful, but just the versatility of Follow Me and damage and like the on-demand stat boost and all that is just like it. None of it doesn't feel like Urshifu. It doesn't feel like Calyrex. Like it's not like, God, this is unfair, but it's so versatile and just like it slots onto a lot of teams. It's like less prolific Incineroar, I guess. Like
sure.
Yeah, and the fact that it has 4 forms and they all have like very different sets they can run, like even within
and all very useful sets.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and there's innovation too, right? Like you had like, especially if you look at the EVs that Luca had on his Fire Pawn, and this is something that started a little earlier, but bulky, not very strong. You can like lean into the fact that it gets so powerful from its Terra, but it takes a Terra Water Scarf Surging Strikes if it doesn't Terra. So like very, very strong. Yeah, it can take a Glacial Lance like relatively comfortably too. All these like people are, and then like I was talking about before with the loaded dice Bullet Seed, Grass Pawn, the taunt on the Water Pawn. Rock Pawn's probably the only one that like it runs one set. It has a built-in Focus Sash, and you take advantage of that. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's very, very cool to see.
The only sad thing, I guess, is just after this generation, like, what does it do without Terra? You know, like you lose a lot of it.
It's still really good. It's a little less powerful. It'll probably be like,
well, like
it won't be as good, but
you lose just its gimmick too, though.
Yeah, the gimmick's gone. But it's not Terapagos, right? Like it's still going to be something. Terapagos is dead in the water.
Yeah, I hadn't thought that far ahead for those two mon who like their whole thing really is Terra. I mean, Terapagos obviously, but like how they have to do something. I'm just wondering if they'll kind of
their regular abilities are good. Defiant, sturdy. The like derpy dragon in the room is Water Absorb, I guess. But like, you know, Kyogre and Urshifu will always exist.
Niche.
So
you have Follow Me and Water Absorb, so
sure. And Urshifu still exists.
You can invalidate Urshifu. You can invalidate not invalidate Kyogre because it's not Storm Drain, but still like
you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah. You take 0 damage and you smack it with a Woodhammer or Horn Leech or something. Yeah. So I don't know. I think the Ogres are actually gonna like go beyond this gen like really well.
Yes,
I agree. But like, I mean,
they'll definitely lose some power.
Yeah, even with like what are they? Zamazenta and Zacian, how they like their attacks were against Dynamax and like kind of like They still
Zama's a beast, and I gotta tell you, I think if they hadn't been nerfed, I think Zacian would still be so good. It's tragic because like it would have just been as good as the rest of them.
It's
like,
almost
it did not
like
need
right
to be
now
nerfed
it's
like
almost really good. Like still,
like some people still do well with it.
It was in the top cut.
There was at least 1 or 2 that cut.
21, which was a Zacian and a Ditto and a Regidrago.
Yeah, and Grant's been running this for a minute. It's the same Terra Ground, Terra Blast Zacian. like specifically I hate you Miraidon button.
Fair enough.
Because it's immune to Draco, and you just protect, determine what move the choice specs Miraidon's using, and then you Terra or don't appropriately. And most of the Miraidons are fairy now instead of electric, so just Behemoth Blade it. Done. I
am also shocked to see Ditto at Worlds.
That happens every restricted format, to be fair. But yeah, Ditto's very nice in these.
It always shows up, but I didn't think I'd see it at Worlds.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. It's good. It's like a Shedinja type of deal, right? Like
sure.
Trash until you can use it against really strong things. Like
that's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I was glad to see like the Diego bringing the Latios even to Worlds. That wasn't a flash in the pan. It turned out to be like it was just a genuinely good mon. It fit the niche it needed to on those Zamazenta teams. Like
you didn't mention on Chen Yu Zhang's team the Dragonite.
Dragonite's good. I don't know. It's not even the spicy pick anymore.
It's just like, oh yeah, it's good. Oh, it's my favorite Pokemon. It's fun
like,
to see.
I don't know. Like,
fine to see it.
It's like if Incineroar was my favorite Pokemon. It's like great. It's there. I guess I don't know.
Okay,
like,
it's always there.
There's one Dragonite. There's 24 Incineroars.
Yeah, but actually in Cut there's only
one.
There's the same number of Incineroar and Dragonite. So or top 8.
That's something.
Fine.
No,
you win.
I used hyperbole, and yes, I'm happy my boy made top 8. But yeah, it's this gen he's got really good. Actually, losing dual wing beat and superpower probably means this is the last gen he's going to be good unless he like really like
they buff it or something. Like
unless they buff it or give him some moves back or like the next gen's gimmick,
which is possible.
Very nice.
I don't know if I actually showed you this.
No, you didn't.
I got this in Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'll eventually set it up, but like Dragon missed the last whole sentence you said.
No, it's not going to be good next gen, unless it can really take advantage of the gimmick, because or the mechanic or whatever you want to call it. Because it lost dual wing beat and it lost superpower. Right. That was like the cool thing it could do last in Gen 8. When we had like the brief no Dynamax format, so it was actually pretty cool. It could dual wing beat Rillaboom and Archifu. It could superpower Incin and E-Speed Regieleki, and all of a sudden, like it lost those like 2 of those really good coverage moves, and it's going to lose the superpowered Extreme Speed. So like, it's probably not going to be good next gen.
I honestly always forget that it doesn't have dual wing beat because that just seems like a thing it should have.
Yeah, it straight up doesn't have a aerial ace. Like we're using a base 60 move. Like tragedy.
Hey, it doesn't miss though.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's pretty much. I feel like we've been scraping the bottom of the barrel on Worlds for a minute here now, though.
Okay, I want to say a couple of things that I was really impressed with. When again, I watched all of one game, so don't whatever. First off, beautiful decoration again, right? Like last year in Japan, it had pretty cool stage decorations and whatnot. That was neat. The Hawaiian, Polynesian, Pacific Islander, whatever designs they had. I was like, that was so cool. I thought it looked very pretty. So they have done updates to the game in general. The spectator mode they used for Worlds.
That's exclusively for Worlds Finals.
Yep.
You can't unlock
it. They used it last year too.
Oh, was it just finals too?
Yep. Yeah. Only in the finals.
Oh, because I was going to say like it was
all 3 age brackets, but yeah, they only do it in finals.
There's like a beautiful, like the cool background and the cool decorations in the plaza square or circle, whatever.
They put a lot more.
Yeah, they did.
People in the crowd thing, but it's just all the same 3.
And the Switch didn't crash when it had more than 3 people in the background.
That's because it's the same 3 people copy pasted over and over again, and they're all like low res and 2D.
They just got them on different timers for the animation.
No, it's a cute touch. I like it.
It was very cute. I didn't notice. I was excited to see it. Obviously, I didn't.
It looks better than the basic game version.
Well, that's yes. Yeah. Because there was.
You know what it doesn't look better than though is just the regular Sword and Shield stadium.
Those stadiums are good.
But you know, it's fine.
That's like they're gonna have a hard time like being that, just the atmosphere of it too, because like there's nothing better than the crowd chanting whenever you Dynamax. Like that was always one of the best. Yeah, like just the whole vibe change whenever you Dynamax. It was so good.
Well, what's cool, and we've said this half a dozen times on this podcast. Just in Sword and Shield, they made Pokemon battles a like legit sporting event. and that made it cool. Like they took the vibe.
I had one friend who I showed like when I started getting into VGC, like during COVID. Like I had one buddy in like my COVID circle who we hung out, and like you can't hang out with everybody else, you might get sick, right? And I showed him this, and he was like, "Man, like I don't care about this at all, but that the like getting big is pretty sick. Like that's actually awesome."
Yeah. Right?
It is. It's hype.
Yeah.
All there is to it.
It was. And then we go from that to this, where you just have, grandma and little Timmy watching you play a game.
Yeah. I feel like you could have made the same level of hype around Terra, honestly. It still looks cool. You could have literally used the same exact effects and sound and everything.
I honestly would have been fine. Like you could change up maybe the field a little bit and
the lighting effect is cool for Terra. You got to give it that. It's the only cool touch.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you can't see anything else around it. Everything else kind of gets faded out by the light, but
or it's just off screen. Like
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Angle, and like I accidentally sent out Ursaluna on the right side, so now I can't see anything else on the screen. Yeah,
with size and a very not dynamic camera.
Anyway, okay, we're on the old man screaming at cloud tangent again. Do you guys remember 2020? Crazy long ago. But we also, so completely off the world's topic for a second, we actually got some cool news today about Worlds for next year, I guess. So not really off the world's topic. Well, first of all, Anaheim, Green in California 2 years in a row. Stateside, I can't complain too much. But the whole point thing that we kind of whinged about a few weeks back it got a lot better. They
updated the
so two things. Basically, what I was hoping for. So I'm really happy with it. I see like international challenge point payouts got nerfed aggressively. They're like only like 50% more than regionals now, if that. And I think less at some placements. And then the BFL got lowered to 5. So basically, you aren't you aren't that heavily incentivized to travel to every IC anymore. Like you can probably get top 75 with just good placements at regionals. You don't need to go to Brazil and then London, like spend thousands of dollars to experience England in the winter, like fun times. But so that's really, really good. And they also announced that there are going to be a ton of global challenges. And as much as I hate best of one closed team sheet ladder tournament, that's really good opportunities for people who can't afford to travel. I think that's great. I think there's going to be 8 of them, but it's still BFL of 3. So like you don't have to do well in all of them. You don't have to do well in many of them, even half of them. You only have to like get 3 placements to get points out of those. So
there's only 1 month that you don't have them, and it's November of this year. After that, until May, you have a global challenge. Yeah.
So actually, the best of 1 closed team sheet ladder on Showdown is going to be kind of relevant. Again. Actually, is like get your cheese stats ready, right? Like you just got to win 1 game, and then you play the next person who doesn't know what nonsense you have in store for them. Like.
And just keep winning that 1 game.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's pretty exciting. So I didn't actually. I'm
very hopeful. I still think the top 75 thing is very dumb, but everything outside of that is like they're giving us all the tools to do well, right? Like if you were going to make it in a regular season, you have a pretty good chance at it now.
I because of the top 75 thing, that's still not entirely true. I think.
If you were going to make 500 points in the current setup, like especially without like abusing IC point payouts,
sure,
like you have a shot at it this time. I think, at least not with you have to do well at regionals, right? Locals mean still very little, which it sucks for local warriors, but in terms of like making sure good people go to worlds, it's probably for the best. Like you can't just abuse the fact that you have a local TO who throws MSSs every week, or a cycle of
changed that they changed that for VGC too, so you can't just spam them like you used to because
because of the card shop thing, right?
Yeah, and you also couldn't really spam them either. You had to get them.
You literally played 4 MSSs in a weekend.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, that was.
It's not uncommon in Canada, or it wasn't uncommon. It will be now.
Well, it's that's easy to do because you have that many TOs. Right.
Yeah, all you got to do is just get 4 friends together. Let's take the tournament. Let's take the professor test together, and let's do them day after day. Same shop, same spot. It's the same people running it. Just one different person puts their name on the form.
Each person can still only TO 1 a month, right?
Right. So you get 4 buddies.
Yeah. Okay.
You do 1 every week. Done.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I guess there's ways to spam it.
Yeah,
I would not say it's easy
they had
to
a BFL
spam.
of 6 back then, right?
Yeah.
Each winner gets 50 points. You could just like the four of you could run them together.
Yes,
you could cheese that system to death. Yeah, no, I mean it's I don't know what we have as the best right now, but the old one was abusable.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess it's fair. More abusable than I initially thought. I will concede. But the card shop thing is, I do think dumb. Don't get me wrong. I think there's
I don't love it either. It's like you just had like they just wanted to stop that. I think pretty much
Yes.
like you. It's not really like there were some. God, this isn't fixing that problem, by the way. But there are just some locals that are just. I think the Georgia scene's very good. We have a lot of fun jokes on Twitter about it, but like we're not as good as New York. And New York, I don't know if you've ever seen a New York local. It's horrifying. It's like a regional top cut, just in your local card shop, and they're all fighting to death over 15 CP, right?
Right.
And like, so if you live in like the butt crack of Alabama somewhere, and you can get a tournament together, you're playing for the same amount of points as like Jody and James Bake like every week. Like what? No, that seems wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. That is funky. Don't like that.
And there's only so much you can do about that with locals in the first place, right?
Right, like that is the nature of locals.
Are going to have more good players, but
yes.
So you just minimize the importance of them to begin with.
Granted, they should also have more TOs to run more things and more card shops in which to run them.
There's only so many card shops in New York, and all those good players will go to all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's the problem. Is that
they'll follow it around.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, correct. Locals is a low value scene, right? Like that's kind of the point.
You get some points. Like Zach or my scene is already maxed out his challenges
really?
And most of his cups already. Yeah.
My goodness. Wait, it's like
you know what?
The season's not even a month old.
Yeah. He's been traveling like every weekend.
I guess get it out of the way.
I mean, sure.
Max his challenges, and I think I got like 2 or 3 of the 4 cups you can get.
So that's the thing, though, right? Like anyone who is going to make that top 75, and this is why I was trying, like I was not so gung ho a few minutes ago about it, right? Is despite these numbers being better, you have to complete your BFLs at every every category and do well in all of them, right? Like you're still going to have.
I wouldn't say well, but yeah, well, like
enough.
Yeah, you probably need at least the 6-3, 7. Like you'll need multiple day 2s. You'll need a couple day 3s or not day 3, 6 3s for the rest of it, right? To round
and
it
you
out
have to place in 3. You have to place in all the global cups. You have to get all locals you can. Like,
no, you don't need to place in all. You only get 3.
Yeah,
you get 8 tries. And only need to place in 3 of them.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you have to fill out those BFLs.
Yeah.
You have to play a lot.
You definitely have to play a lot.
Yeah. So I think that the because of that top 75 or those top 75 placements are going to be extremely competitive.
Oh, for sure.
So there's still
arguably as it should be, right? Like it shouldn't be easy.
I agree. I think I agree. No, I do agree. I wholeheartedly agree. The thing is, the 75 should be 128.
Yeah, I would definitely like a bigger number.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Because actually, I think I saw someone pull up an argument for Worlds now. This is relevant to Worlds, not just us rehashing something. The best performing US players or NA players, at least in Worlds this year, were outside of top 75, by quite a bit. Yeah,
right.
And that's that whole thing though, because you don't.
But it's hard to say whether they would have been or not in the new system because they would have tried to max out their points. A lot of people just hit the 500 and said, "I'm done." The end. Right?
Yeah.
But I still like having that. I would have rather than raise the CP bar.
Yeah, me too. Make it, especially because there's just more points anyway. It's going to be inflated.
You see how many points some of these people. I mean, there was more people you would have top 75 would have been like almost 800 points.
At least, yeah.
But it's going to be over 1,000 with like new inflated totals. Maybe not with the new IC numbers. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, yeah, close to, right? I would not be surprised if that 75th place is 4 digits, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so they could have just raised the CP bar, and I feel like people would have felt better.
But they also just want a smaller Worlds, I think, right? Like,
I think
we mentioned that we were talking about like there's like what 800 something people.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Like people complained about the bar being put up to 500 for this time, and there's still tons of people who got it, almost 1,000 people who got it from NA alone. Over 1,000 worldwide.
The bigger the game gets, though, I mean, there'll be more CP to go around, and
so that's the thing that kind of confuses me, right? Like, if I'm not an expert by any means in any of this, right? But if you want to grow your esport, is putting such a small and hard limit on your biggest competition the way to do it? The answer might be yes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it really depends what you want Worlds to be, right? Like, I do think they need more like other incentives for people, because every other esport, you don't get to be in the world final invitationals as a regular player most of the time. In fact, I'd argue even with top 75 Pokemon, still more accessible than any other serious esport.
Fair. True. Yeah,
but
good point.
A random person who has never been in the scene before could hop on, be talented, and win a regional or top cut a regional or something, with very little prior practice.
I have another opinion on the 75 thing, right? So Zach is a great example. Shout out Zach again. He maxed out, some of his BFLs, early on.
And for what it's worth, if he doesn't perform in regionals, that won't matter.
Correct.
He will, 100%. He's good, but
Correct. Also correct. But if someone gets into the game and is very talented, but started playing in March, they can't make it.
Unless they do really well at a regional. Right? I mean, because again, so if you let's say you max out your challenges and your cups, that's what 260 points. Drop in the bucket. It's nothing. Mm-hmm. You make one top 64 at a regional. It's the equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Correct. But but that's it. There's
which
just
is pretty not even that amazing, right? It's pretty good. Yeah. It's that's you day 2'd and then you bombed. Is what top 64 is.
I guess the BFLs. So what I was trying to say is if someone comes into the scene halfway in, right, they're at a disadvantage.
Oh, for sure. Which is what it was always going to be. But yeah.
But I guess the BFLs kind of help that, and if they are limiting those, well, then okay, maybe not as bad as I thought initially.
If you're not going to fill out your BFL, we're going to have trouble with the bar too, right? At least if they design the number well. But yeah.
Correct. So to the point of trying to limit worlds and make it, something smaller than it is now, right? They're trying to make it more exclusive, trying to get that the best of the best, right? Which is what it always was, but trying to even more so squeeze out that talent, right? And to a point that we said earlier on in this episode, right? They can only show so many games. Yeah. So if they're gonna if you want to get the best showing for the game,
it's only gonna be really good players.
It's only gonna be better. So maybe there's maybe these are all thoughts that someone in a boardroom had.
Yeah, or maybe they didn't think about it at all, which they probably. Yeah. I think when they first did it, they didn't think about it at all, and then they really
they took the community. They use this as a focus group on Twitter. And
yeah. Things are not perfect, but anyway, all of this to say, I didn't really even mean to rehash all the problems from before. I was just saying I think this is a massive improvement from before.
Yeah,
I don't feel like you don't. It's not pay to win anymore. It was almost certainly pay to win before, just because of how inflated ICs were.
Yeah.
And now, if you can make it to 5 regionals, and in the States, you probably can. Even driving distance, you probably can. If you can make it to 5 regionals and do decently at them, you have a pretty good shot at that top 75. You'll have to do well at a couple of them, but yeah.
I think it's
but it's not just showing up and getting a few points here and there.
Yeah, which you could do. The bar was if you had the money to throw at it and you were just good but not Worlds tier, you could still make it to Worlds.
But I feel like that's always just
not now.
The more events you could go to, the more chances you have to do better. And
it's always going to be that way to some degree, right? You do have to spend money to play the game, so you'll have more chances for sure. Even now, people who can go to more events have an advantage, but you can't just 6-3 or 5-4 your way to Worlds anymore. You got a day 2 multiple times.
If you can go to all these events, if you can fill out your BFLs, you will have the chance you deserve.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what it is.
I think everybody who makes it will have a filled out BFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't think the 75th place is going to be someone who's made top 8 multiple times, right? There'll be someone who's made a couple top 64s. They might have one really nice one nicer result on their list or whatever, but I don't think it's going to be a kill the world kind of player. It's going to be just a solid player.
Yeah. I want to see somewhere the top 70 to 75, one of those 6 slots. I want to see people who won a regional and then stopped.
Well, they do. They get it automatically.
That's what I mean, right?
Like, they actually pull it out. Those don't even count. So it won't actually be top 75. It's probably going to be more. It's going to be 80s or so, actually.
So,
like, because every regional winner and every semifinalist and above for ICs get it for free.
And the top 4 in worlds too.
If you play more though, you're just playing for the travel award.
Yeah, you're playing for travel award,
right,
and to screw over other people by taking their CP. But
also
yeah. But you want that TA.
But you know
that has always been a thing. Don't y'all listening? Don't get that wrong.
Yeah, first of all, it is actually going to be 80 some odd who.
But since they're doing less people, they should just give. If you win a regional, you should get a travel allowance to Worlds.
I mean, so if they have, it depends on how much money they want to throw at things, right? Like,
but I mean, TA, it still goes to the people who've earned the most, right? Like, I would, the person who gets second twice probably deserves it more than the guy who got first once. Like,
yes, in this game, absolutely. I think I agree with that.
Yeah, everybody wants the moment to be king of the world, but like consistency is really impressive.
Yes, and that's this. This is a game all about consistency, right? Like the top players don't always get first. They're always at the higher echelon of the
game is so volatile. Like,
yes.
I'm not sure we probably will never see another Ray Rizzo again, just because like you can be the best in the world and lose. You can be the better player and lose any given game. Like, not even that infrequently. Like,
well,
you make one wrong call, you get one dice roll wrong, and you lose the game, and you'll win, 8, 9 out of 10 games, but you could lose the one that matters.
You can be Wolf Glick and go
ask Wolf,
yeah,
16-0 day one, not dropping a single game, and then he didn't win any money from that. You go 16-0 in games.
Yep, he missed money by one slot.
Yeah, he bubbled out of.
Granted,
out of $5,000.
I don't know if $5,000 means anything to Mr. Wolf.
Yeah,
but still $5,000. Like, it's not nothing.
Let's be real though. He is gonna make money off of Worlds.
Yeah. No, he'll make more money in the first hour of his Worlds video than $5,000. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out, right, as I'm guessing, unless you all have another topic to touch on for this, we have done such a great job in this one episode about 2024 Pokemon Worlds in Honolulu, Hawaii, to really rehash most of the issues we have with the game to some extent. We have
a checklist of whining.
Yes, we had to cover it.
And I'm looking at it. We checked it all off. Like, to some extent, it was very impressive of us.
I love the idea that you have a list.
you know it's a bit. Now I kind of want to make it though, like the game corners gripes against Pokemon.
Yeah, just bingo. Yeah.
Just start passing out bingo sheets to subscribers.
2 or 3 weeks ago that we should have done bingo cards for Worlds, and now I want to do like a bingo complaints thing for the game corner. It's a good idea.
So I do want to just touch on the other things. So Iron Thorns won the TCG.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't tell you if that's surprising or not. Like, I thought you were going to tell me that Iron Thorns did well in VG. I was like,
where did I see Iron Thorns? I missed it. Hold on.
It won the TCG Masters. So that was it's one of those decks. So there's a lot of coin flips.
So you said you've been experimenting with the TCG a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Are coin flip cards like controversial? Do people get mad about that? I would be mad if it's 50%. Yes. That's like the worst possible roll.
Yes, it is. It is.
50%
to win Worlds
to TCG is something
that a coin flip is one of the main cards in the deck is something like.
Yeah,
because like there was one match I was watching some of the games and like I think a dude didn't hit coin flips on like 4 or 5 times like in a set. Like, it was wild. Pokemon Go, Yip K Chang. So I watched the top cut of the Go top cut. So Yip K Chang, I think, made Worlds last year, won this year, didn't win a single game at Worlds last year, and won it this year. So that was a pretty meteoric
good
rise.
Redemption story.
Yeah, and then the Go Team Fennel won it from Japan. I watched some of it. It's a little bit harder. I mean, Cramorant's really good. So, being a Cramorant stan, at least Unite gives it some love.
Stanorant.
And that's what we need as a group. We need 2 more people, and we need to just make a Unite team because the prize pool for Worlds next year is $500,000.
That's pretty good, but I hate MOBAs.
Yeah.
I guess for $100,000, I could learn to like MOBAs maybe, but
if you're into wanting to play Pokemon, but for money, it's definitely in Unite, which makes sense. All the microtransactions and whatnot, they have the money to spend on it.
Gen 10 should have microtransactions.
You would have to pay me to play Unite, so yeah. That,
he wants to pay you $100,000.
Yeah.
I don't think you could pay me any amount of money to play Unite well because I can't. So just that.
Yeah, you really were watching all the things.
Yeah, I went through. I tried to at least catch the finals of everything. Like I just watched pretty much the whole Championship Sunday stuff, but a lot of it's interesting. Seeing the Unite's interesting. It's fun to watch. I like one thing I like about Unite. The games are quick. For a MOBA, like 10 minutes or something,
right
compared to a lot of other ones.
It's probably the only MOBA that I could potentially follow.
It is you're just on to the next one. It's just
watching League and Dota. It's just like, what is this? What am I doing with my life? Like, absolutely not.
Not my style of games. Sorry, y'all.
And TCG. I mean, it's being a Magic player for so long. I'm used to watching, I guess, card games.
Cardboard things.
Yeah, cardboard. People flick their cardboard around sitting there. I've never see. That's why I know I would never be great at Magic or anything because I can't flick my cards around.
I can't shuffle well at all. And I
can shuffle and everything, but you see them they just magicians sitting there with their cards. Just put them down.
They made pile shuffling against the rules. That might be a Yu-Gi-Oh thing I saw about it. It was just like, if I can't pile shuffle, I just literally can't do it.
Why is pile shuffling against the rules?
Because you could cheat with it easier. You could find a way to get cards in an advantageous order.
If I'm a trained magician, I can do that with any style of shuffling.
Yeah.
What is
your opponent's probably also a trained magician who's keeping an eye out for it.
So. And it's always one of the things too. I remember seeing there was I guess one of the TCG players ended up on the blogger report in Hawaii for theft or something at a card store.
Yeah, that was funny. They got banned.
Amazing.
It was an English player or a UK player at least. Yeah. They got arrested. But what were they trying to steal?
I'm guessing cards. The cardboard.
Sure,
I saw another video.
Not?
Someone caught someone on video cheating, legitimately pulling out cards out of their at Worlds. Come on, man.
Yeah, the prize pool
I need to see someone attempt the eating the opponent's cards gag.
You're not winning this one.
I personally think if you're capable of swallowing you have to play with sleeves, right? It's illegal to play without sleeves because you could mark them otherwise, right?
Yep.
So yeah, if someone can actually swallow an entire card with the sleeve,
you can have it.
I think they deserve it. Yeah. Just
give the card, I guess.
Give them the set, yeah.
That's 2 prizes.
They need to reimburse me for the value of the card they just ate, but afterwards, no, you have it. You want this more than me.
I'm displeased.
What would you do? Would you call it? Would you call a judge?
If someone ate my card,
you gonna prove it? You gonna pump their stomach? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna eat your Joy-Con.
Actually, yeah. I'm trying to think I'm trying to think the VGC version that's hey, he released my Pokemon.
Oh, you'd have to steal your Switch away for that. Yeah. No. I like that better. Pull the Joy-Con off of their Switch, swallow it whole,
or just the joystick on it. Just bite it off.
All right. If that happened, eating a card.
Again, you need to buy me a new Joy-Con, but you can have the set. That's fine.
I would take out my phone and record that.
They'll do it so quickly. You won't even be able to react. They just
it's gotta be instant.
Oh, that's so upsetting. Just the thought of it is.
So you're talking about being a magician for TCG. You gotta want to be a sword. You gotta be a sword swallower or something. Yeah, just
there's a battery in there. They swallow battery acid for it. Again, they want it.
They want it real bad. My special talent is cardboard and plastic swallowing. Right, and
everybody's you gotta have a niche, man.
I would say that we've firmly entered the Cricketune posting.
Yes.
I think we've. Hey,
and we're almost at an hour.
If you are still listening, thank you for dealing with whatever we just went through.
Yes, thank you for humoring me.
Well, hopefully we're humoring
you. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's wrap this up. The energy has gone. We've jumped the shark.
It's honestly gotten better, but yeah.
I think it's good.
I'm not complaining right now. Let's
All right.
We kind of paused a bit during the
Like
actual
we
Wells
should just
discussion.
start the stream,
Round
just open
2.
Twitch and start stream, and let's just keep talking.
There's a button somewhere where we can live stream from Riverside, and I will never touch it. All right, yeah, let's wrap this episode up. Y'all have been playing anything else?
Yeah, but
that was a
the
poorly
new
worded
expansion-
question.
Yeah, the Guild Wars expansion for me is
that's right.
I've only been at it for a couple days, so I like only just got my home
It's
building.
only a couple days old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I've only played it for like maybe 4
lucky he's
hours.
here
Something like
right
that.
now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Taking my time. I'll have some like player housing building stories later. I was playing that 2xKO alpha for like a week. It's really fun.
Right.
People are so much better than me. I'm going to be utter garbage at that. But it's having a great time. I'm really excited for.
You can bring it to the next regional and kick our butts at it.
There you go.
I'll be playing on PC, but yeah, no, we'll get it on the Steam Deck. It'll be great.
Do it.
Nothing really new.
Not new.
Same old. I was looking at that. What is it? That Wukong game.
Yeah,
There's actually a lot of
caught
controversy on that one.
That caught my eye. Like I was like scrolling through TikTok and I saw someone playing. I was like, oh, that actually looks kind of fun.
What's the controversy on it?
It's really dumb. Honestly, I'm sure it's a fun game. But the controversy is that it sold really well.
Yes.
Because it is a game made by. I mean, I'm sure it's a solid game for sure. I haven't touched it yet, but it's made by a Chinese developer, and as a result, the sales in China are absolutely through the roof because they don't have to deal with. There's a ton of them, of course, and they don't have to deal with any of the like standard import and censor stuff that the international
it's already
do, right. It's already there.
It's already for them.
I wouldn't be surprised if the dev has some Riot has ownership by the government there, right? So like.
I know the developer is Tencent.
Anyway, like if you look at the Steam stats for it, I think it's like literally like 90+% of sales for it are from China, and so the game it's a like standard beat 'em up, like not a lot of like message to the story,
action
right?
RPG.
Yeah, so you have a lot of personalities saying, oh, like this game is not woke, and therefore it's the most a successful game ever, and like
but it's just a bait.
It sounds like it's just it's your standard like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Dark Souls, whatever.
If you like those kind of things, you'll probably like it.
Yeah,
and it looks good. Like it's pretty, and everything I said too. It's like the console versions look almost as good as the PC. So
yeah, it sounds like a really fun play that I would play for 3 or 4 hours and then forget about. Like, which there's plenty of amazing games that absolutely fit that category, and a different kind of person could put 30 hours into it, and. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's really silly. There's a controversy, but there is, and it's just like very weird, like culture war latching onto it.
So that's what I like. I've heard everything that you said pretty much, right? Like
there's nothing explicitly anti-woke, quote unquote, about it either. It's just a game. Like
I guess I didn't hear the woke stuff, right? I knew it was from China, which is very interesting because it's like one of the first times China has produced a AAA game outside of China. Which is great for this type of thing.
More competition is fantastic. I hope there are more
especially AAA kind of stuff. Like they need competition.
Yeah,
but like that is kind of what I thought was the crux of the controversy, right? I don't know, whatever. Like numbers.
I don't know if these like the names mean anything to you. I hate that they mean something to me, but like Grums and Mighty Keef fighting about this, and whoever cares about what they have to say, and it just invades my Twitter feed because even though I.
Are they
don't
people?
really care about these people.
What are these
people?
Like
one of them's very alt-right and the other one's just a game streamer who like brought up that all of it was like all the sales were in China, and then it's a whole thing. It's really silly, but yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes. It came across my thing. It looked, like you said, very pretty, very cool. I'm not gonna pick it up probably because I don't want to spend $60 on a game I'll play for 3 hours and forget about.
That was my thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's more.
I'm in the same boat as you for that.
I'm gonna wait till it hits like the PS Plus or whatever, you can get it for free.
My backlog is huge on games that I actually really do want to play already. So
that's
how many games
why would I pick up generic Souls like number 17, right? Like
correct.
Yeah, that's how my PlayStation like catalog right now is getting. Like I'm just adding stuff off the free because I keep adding stuff to the free, which is great. But like as I put stuff on there, it's like I haven't downloaded it yet, but it's there.
Which level of PlayStation free thing do you have?
The top one, I think.
So you should pick up Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing.
They
just added that.
Kind of ugly 2D one.
Wild Hearts was like another one I looked at.
It's Devolver published it, which is
Might be thinking of a different
Questionably
game.
indie.
I saw a horrifying screenshot of what I thought was Call to the Lamb of like a bird, but it had like the face drawn on and the beak.
Oh yeah,
on the side
that's
of
Call
its
to the
face.
Lamb. That's Call to the Lamb style.
Yeah, I don't like that style.
It's unique, but the game is amazing.
Yeah, because they just added that right to the catalog.
They just added it to PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that The Witcher 3.
7.
The Witcher 3, which is great. If you've never played it, it's a great time to pick it up. It's free. But Wild Hearts, I haven't downloaded it yet, but it's a Monster Hunter like kind of game.
I don't have that tier because I don't do enough to warrant me paying for that. But
they added all the Sword Arts onlines, which is pretty cool.
Oh, neat.
But yeah.
My tone should tell you everything about how I feel about random Sword Art games. I don't know, maybe they're good, but I've
actually never played the game. I've watched the animes.
Well, sure, yeah, the anime and the light novel. It's all sort of from a light novel or whatever, and then a manga, and then the anime, and then every time you get another step away from the source material, I feel like you're losing something. So when we get to like cheap mobile game, like a coworker of mine plays like a cheap mobile game-esque thing on Steam, and I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Anyway, for me, it's been Call to the Lamb because they just had a major update and they're on PlayStation thing, which is neat. I have it on Steam Deck. And also Marvel Midnight Suns. I just started. It's on Steam Deck. It's a neat, like, it's a card-based, like, it looks as if you're going to play the same way that, like, BG3 plays for, like, combat, but it's all card-based, which is very interesting.
Okay.
Not what I thought it was going to be. I'm very interested. I'm only, like, an hour and a half in. I'm very not far in it, but it's cool. It's Marvel. It's a neat story so far. So I'll report back later. But yeah, I think that's an episode.
Okay.
Sounds like an episode.
Let's do the thing.
Yes, sir.
So thank you all for listening. We'd like to thank Rob KTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner, off the Ultra album. I've been Harrison. You can find me online at Rerexen. I tweet sometimes, not a whole lot, because stuff. I don't know. That's me. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me probably nowhere. Just there. Just Rowan W. Hall.
Find him here. Right here.
Find me here. Sometimes.
And I am Shelby. You probably know me, Captain Yanova. You can find me at Captain_Yanova on Twitter, Captain Yanova everywhere else.
And together we've been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC. If you just search the Game Corner podcast or the Game Corner VGC anywhere, you'll probably find us, maybe eventually. But if you have trouble with that, you can find us in the link tree down below, which is all nice and cleaned up now, with very, very, very many fewer links. That's proper English for what I said. Don't dissect that sentence. So it's all nice. It has the Discord, the Patreon, places to find us, and our zitters, as we had just shared. And I think that's it. So until next time. No matter what you decide to play, press start and game on. Bye. My voice. Oh, bye.
Harrison went through his second puberty.
Finally. Ooh.